presentation is quite rich and highly comprehensive. My laptop unfortunately just started an update which is not yet complete. That's why you are seeing me joining with 2 gadgets, but I think very soon it will be done. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to say we are very much privileged to be part of this initiative, and I know that it can go a very long way in transforming higher education. My topic is the essence of embracing quality assurance in institutional ranking. I pray that before I finish my presentation, my laptop will have updated and allow me to share the diagram that I'm depending on for this presentation. So, you will realize that my topic reads the essence of embracing quality assurance in institutional rankings. As an institutional quality assurance person in higher education, I know the importance of quality assurance. I know that if we don't take it seriously, it can compromise the work that we do. So my approach is going to be 2 or 3 pronged. So what are we saying? I want to specifically look at the process itself, that within a process, we have inputs, we have processes, we have outputs, we have procedures. And so once we select the appropriate inputs, for example, I really liked the immediate past presentation, because she was just trying to show us the details and nitty-gritties of what is looked into. Universities will give us a lot of value. If now we move on to say, these are the nitty-gritties which we look into, they are anticipating, they know, it's not ambushing them, and eventually you will see that they prepare fully for an exercise where they are informed. So it leads me into talking about education and awareness. We have the key stakeholders, the board, the higher education itself, the institutions. And what are we saying? We need to speak the common language. We need to have the same vision. We need to have a shared understanding. And for us to have that is through education and awareness. Who should be educated? Let's start with our personnel who are going to help us with the ranking process, interface with institutions, interface with data, and analyzing the data and all those things. So they need thorough training so that all of them understand the process of ranking in the same way. Nothing should be ambiguous, so that we don't shortchange the institutions. So that is very important. I think
you're looking twice to the link.
Yes, so what I'm trying to do is to make sure that this becomes active. It has to be active first, then I come off the phone. Yeah, so I'm leaving the phone and coming to my laptop screen. Sorry for the inconvenience.
No worries, it's okay.
With technology, once it starts saying update.
Okay.
I can't do anything about it. Now it's okay. I've left the other guy.
Okay.
So having said that, you will now realize that, like I said, common understanding is key. The institutions need to understand us and our intentions. Those whom we engage to help us with the process of assessing the institutions, they also need education and awareness, which is basically training. You know, as a quality assurance specialist, I want to tell you some of the things which we take for granted. And when we are inside, we now realize that we made a mistake. Quality assurance is never about dealing with assumptions, dealing with perceptions, dealing with conceptions which are not proven. We need maybe to send a quick survey to those who we are engaging as our personnel who are going to assist us with the ranking process. The ranking process, now we say, this questionnaire, it can just be a Google form. The ranking process for HE, higher education rankings, involves these stages, blah, 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 blah. Do we really understand the stages? What could be our challenges as the people who are going to be involved in the rankings? We may take this for granted, but you will realize that if we don't consider it seriously, it will have far-reaching and negative effects. Let's collect data. Let's analyze data. Let's be informed by data so that we make sound decisions related to data. I've talked about personnel. I've talked about the institutions themselves. I like this session because it also gives us an opportunity to understand what HE, higher education rankings, wants to do, and we can make input to refine it. That's quality assurance for you. I think now I'll be able to share my diagram, but let me finish with what I'm doing now. So we have the processes, and talking about the processes, I should be able to share. Let me see.
Just let me activate it for you if it's not available.
Do I have the rights to share, please?
Yes, yes, you have the rights. Yes, just click yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to share. Yes, it's coming. So, there are key quality assurance processes which we can't run away from. One of them has already been talked about, which is feedback. Can we see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Yes. So this is what I wanted to show you, and you can see that we need to plan. And I'm glad to say that, honestly, from the time I knew Mustafa, he worked very hard, putting the teams together. He went on LinkedIn. I think he was looking for profiles of people, because rankings are a quality assurance thing. They are at the heart of quality assurance, because the preparation itself builds the quality culture in the institutions. The process itself gives the room for institutions to build their quality culture. The results and recommendations, the feedback, also gives the institutions the direction on how to improve and how to enhance themselves to become better. and it means a lot for them. More students, less mistakes, profitable savings. It's unfortunate that most people have a narrow understanding of quality and quality assurance. They only know of policing. That's why the reception has been so difficult. Also, they don't know that such things like rankings, like accreditation, like monitoring and evaluation, they are all parts. But until they understand all that makes quality, it becomes a problem for them to appreciate our rankings. So this is good because we are already telling them that, guys, quality assurance, part of it are the rankings. Genuine rankings will bring genuine results, will bring good reflections. While this time there, I want to talk about some of the ranking components. And may I ask the board members to take note of what I want to say right now.
Yes, please.
If we depend on the number of times people have visited an institutional site, and the institutions know that they can also get some scores out of the visits that are made to their website. Some unfaithful institutions could go on to mobilize students, mobilize staff to just visit the website so that they can score high on website visibility and website visit. So, two questions. What can we do from the quality assurance perspective to know that the people who have populated the number of visits are not necessarily the people who are playing games of academic dishonesty? So it means during the analysis, in terms of quality assurance, we say once you identify a gap, you need to plug it. So we can plug it by saying, can we develop something that can enable us to see the percentage of staff and students who will have visited the website? And to see, so that when we see that, we can roughly moderate, because we will see that for all the institutions and see that the percentage here of staff and students is going overboard. You know, we have what we call outliers.
Yes.
In statistics, or when we draw our bar graphs and what have you, they are outliers. And the outliers, we don't consider them because there's something wrong with them. We may analyze them separately. So that outlier now, we will need to follow up. So this is not authentic, and we now moderate the mark we are giving them. So in terms of quality assurance, we have a lot of work to do. We want these rankings to be the most authentic in the world. The number one authentication is that, like the previous speaker said, and the other previous contributors, it's looking at everything, one-stop shopping. It's looking at research, it's looking at teaching and learning, it's looking at what, whereby in some instances, you don't need to go to Shanghai for research, you go to this for green education, you go to that. So that is a competitive advantage. And it's a quality assurance trait. I was talking about our inputs, processes, and outputs. Let's now concentrate on the diagram that I've shown you. This is my major concern. You see, there's a larger cycle outside, the blue, red, green, yellow, gold, that's the bigger circle of the whole process of our global ranking. And we need to look at the whole process, overview, overall, planning it, implementing it is the doing, checking it is the monitoring and evaluation. And the action is telling us that in most cases, from monitoring and evaluation, we are told of the gaps. We are told of the things that are going on well. But, for example, here in Africa, you find a road on the map, it's not tarred yet, but it shows that the road has been tarred. But when you go on the ground, you find that road has not yet been tarred. We don't want that to happen. With monitoring and evaluation of our processes, you will find that will not happen. So when we have that, action is now taking the results of monitoring and evaluation in order to improve the system. That's what it does. So you see the relevance of quality assurance at the core of the rankings. Rankings, as if I talk of relationships, is one of the children of quality assurance. Rankings are a child of quality assurance. They are a component of quality assurance. So we go again with our cycle. So the bigger cycle helps us to improve the whole process. If it takes us 6 months or 1 year to go through one cycle of global rankings, after that cycle, honestly, we need to spare a month or two for reflections, for action, which is inputting the necessary changes so that annually we have something that we are talking about as an upgrade, as an addition of the HE higher education rankings, as a part of transformation of the higher education rankings. Let's look at the inside circles. What do you think they mean? Please unmute yourself and tell me. No problem. This one, I want to get the answer from you if possible. What do you mean those 3 inner circles mean to us? Anybody?
That connectedness.
Just unmute yourselves. I can't hear.
The connectedness between both of them or all of them.
That's one.
A relationship between all of them at the same time. They are working together.
Yes.
Like one cycle, yeah.
Yes, that's one. We are remaining with 2 responses that I want. What else are we being told?
Driving force, Dr. Abhishek Kumar said, is driving forces.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Makuku, at a micro level, we would see that the teachers and the students and the staff are all moving the process at the same time, simultaneously.
Yes, I agree. And then the last one, which has not been said yet. Okay, taking up from the 2 speakers, what will happen is you will find that those 3 smaller circles within the bigger cycle, they can be 3, they can be 5, they can be 20, interconnected but continuously moving also in that pattern of interrelationships. It tells us that as we are moving the bigger process, we also have some smaller processes which we must all deal with in terms of applying what we are applying on the bigger circles. So let's give for example, one is for research, one is for teaching and learning, one is for community engagement. So we now want to say again, let's plan for research, let's plan for community engagement, let's plan for research, let's implement, but we know we are implementing them together. But there is also the need for us, you know what they call, to analyze. When you analyze, you are breaking things into smaller pieces in order to understand each piece as a standalone. So that bigger circle, we also apply it on the small inside circles. Having said that, I just want to talk about the importance of feedback. Whose feedback? We want feedback from the board members. We want feedback from the institutions. We want feedback from those whom we are engaging for the process. We even want feedback from other people who have come across the work that we are doing. And those are very, very key and important components for us. When we get feedback, the million-dollar question is, what do we do with the feedback? I can talk to you about transformation, which I've already talked about to you. We can also talk about improvement. We can talk about enhancement. Those three. This is the reason why we do quality assurance. Transformation, we want to be better. When we continuously transform our ranking system, it means we make it better. And our stakeholders, particularly the institution, receiving communication because they might have complained about an aspect or a component which they think we can handle it better. By ignoring them, we are reducing the number of institutions. By accepting and doing what is possible, because not all feedback and not all submissions are meaningful. So we need to reflect, we need to analyze the bigger picture and the overall impact of that. But transformation, genuine improvement, and enhancement lead to relevance. You know, it leads to relevance. Now that we are in the fourth industrial revolution, transformation, relevance, they are quality buzzwords. They are quality buzzwords because people need to be agile and respond to the environment. So if our rankings are not including the fourth industrial revolution, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, to incorporate them. You know, when we incorporate them in the rankings, we are doing two things. We are forcing institutions to adopt and adapt the fourth industrial revolution so that the world can move on, so that everybody else can move with the rest of the world. The second thing we are also doing is we are enhancing quality. So this is not a child's play, and this is serious business.
Yep.
So
Right.
congratulations, it's a good initiative, and how I wish that at a point we can sample a few institutions to visit physically, because I know this time is overall virtual, and we know also that there are challenges with virtual things. There are challenges with virtual operations. What can we do? Can we try at a point, not the starting point, to now improve and sample a few institutions later on which we will visit, because you will see that they may have a high score on the website. Allow me to use the website example, which I've already talked about. But when you go onto the ground, you find that the entrance itself is not even speaking of a place as a university. You know what I mean? The outdoor and physical appearance of the institution, it matters. It can be like a secondary school. It can be like a primary school. What differentiates the outlook of the physical environment of an institution from the other smaller educational entities? When you get inside, how well is it maintained? The structures, the infrastructure, you can have a better appreciation. But I know it's about finances. So
Right.
if we start purely virtual, next time the year we are assembling 3-5 institutions, to them is transformation, it's enhancement, it's improvement. They all start fearing that they may be the ones to be picked for a physical visit. So they start making sure that even the physical environment is in tandem with what is being portrayed by the virtual. So it means we become relevant and we continue to be relevant. When you become relevant, you remain. If you are not agile, you are not transforming, you are not enhancing, you are not improving, you become absolute. When you become absolute, eventually you will close. The number of institutions just continue to go down naturally, because they'll be comparing their higher education rankings, HE, with other rankings in the world. What is it that we should do to be better and to have a competitive advantage as opposed to those who have already been in the rankings? So that is a quality assurance question which tells us about benchmarking. Benchmarking is a quality assurance process. We need to benchmark our HE higher education rankings with the other rankings and see what is it that they are doing which we are not doing. We adopt it in a way. We can't reinvent the wheel. So we adopt and adapt into our own. And so if it means there's something we are doing and they are not benchmarking with us, we are now at a competitive advantage. I hope we pick it and we get it very well. I think at this juncture, I've said most of the things that I wanted to say. We need robust, reliable systems. That's another. What are the tools? What are the tools that we are using? Software, platforms, systems, digital, of course, which can capture data, consolidate the data, show relationships among the data with ease. Those are the kind of systems that we want to deal with. Personalities who should help us with the process. These people should be fast thinkers, people with honesty and integrity, people who are resilient. We want hard workers. Those are the kind of people who can bring a quality higher education ranking process. We want people who learn, people who are flexible, people who are good communicators, people who are good team players. All those things come in to form a quality team. People who are versatile, people who are multi-talented. We can't leave ICT in this day and age. What can they do in terms of manipulating software, manipulating data, and analyzing data? We want people who are well-grounded in quality assurance, like I've said, because this is a child of quality and quality assurance. So what are we doing? What are the key questions which we can raise from my presentation? What are the key take-homes for you and I, for us to have the best ranking, regardless of the time that we are also entering as a key player in the rankings arena? So by that, I think I'm done with my presentation. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Violet. I really appreciate